Okay, now we should be online. So guys, welcome. I'm Pier Francesco, and thank you for having accepted this invite. In the previous days, we have talked with other students from other Italian universities, big university, small university, medium university, from north to south. And we started talking with them about different issues, about how the university is managing this coronavirus situation. And we decided to give voices to other students in order to clearly understand which are their feelings, how their daily routines has changed, how the university is managing this situation. And so we started with these interviews, and thanks to you, now we can have an international meeting. And we start with a round of presentations. So you introduce yourself, where you study, where you live, etc. And then we move on just discussing about what does it implies this coronavirus in our daily routine, in our activities, etc., etc. So ladies first, Alex, you can introduce yourself.
Okay, so my name is Alexandra Lavairo Trenks. I'm from Tarragona, that is really close to Barcelona. I'm a telecommunications engineer, and currently I'm coursing a master in management at Bocconi.
Okay, so a Spanish-Italian student, more or less. Okay, so...
It's me?
Yeah, go Ole.
My name is Ole Henrik Haugen. I'm from Norway. I'm born and raised in a small town called Gol, which is like in the middle of the country. But I'm studying in a small city called Lillehammer, and I'm studying organizational management. And I'm now currently back home here in Gol, but my study courses are in Rimini. So
Rimini.
Italian lectures home in Norway. So but it works fine.
So it's quite strange, you know. You were supposed to have this exchange semester in Rimini, but then 1 month and then you come back to Norway. So we'll discuss about it because you are both from other countries, and how did this Italian university behave with you? I mean, they helped you to get back to your countries, they suddenly help you. How did you manage this situation?
Yeah, on my case, I was really lucky because on the weekend that everything got harder in Italy about the coronavirus and they closed universities, I came here to my house to visit my family. So I was already here. But I have to say that 1 week later, a university called me and asked me if I needed help to get back home because they thought I was in Italy. And so I just told them I was already at home, but yeah, I appreciated a lot the caring.
Yes, nice move from the university to help students to get back home, no? And what about you, Ole? You were in Rimini, so?
Yeah, I was just got the apartment in Rimini, was living in for a week, and then I got a call from my home university with my exchange coordinator and asked me how I was doing and stuff, and he was strongly advising us to get back home to Norway, and but then all the flights and stuff was cancelled, so we had to navigate it through and finally get a flight because the original plan was actually from Munich and then go through the Alps, but then because of the border closing and stuff, I had to change and fly from Rome, but it worked out fine. And when I get back home, they just asked me if I needed help with the funding and stuff because I just have to pay everything there straight away. And of course, it was a bit more expensive than usual, but in Norway we had this arrangement with the government. So if you're taking higher education, you get good funding from the state. So it wasn't really a big, huge financial loss from my side because I get everything covered. But
okay, so
because I was on exchange here, like University of Bologna didn't have any part of it because I was just like taking a few courses here and there from across different educational. I don't know what you call it in English, but it's like you go a bachelor in one subject area, and but I was like crossing from tourism and engineering and stuff. So
Yeah.
but, everything was just covered from my home university. So
Okay.
I don't
So
think
you had to choose between different courses belonging to different academic staffs, no?
Yeah.
You were engineering, tourism, etc. Okay, so in your case was like the home university that called you back, and the Norway government helped you in funding. So it was not a huge loss. Here in Italy, we have a big problem with the rents of our apartments because we didn't have an arrangement with our with the government that helped the students to pay the rents, and they are facing big issues because many people are not working, so no incoming families apart from a government help that give 600 euros to entrepreneurs, small, medium entrepreneurs to face some challenges. But apart from that, no help was given, no, in terms of rents. The universities delayed the last fee, no, for the university staff, but that's the only stuff that we had to face this situation. And so it had a big impact also because we had some professors that had to get used to online lectures. Some succeed better than others. And in your particular experience, how did they manage this situation? Did the professors succeed in this, or they had some difficulties, or what was your experience?
Well, in my case, I had 3 different lectures for Easter, but after Easter I got some other professors in the same subjects, so we haven't met them or anything. But in the start it was like, how do I get a video on, and do you hear me, and everything like that. But I also have professors that are like the lectures they had before in the traditional lecture method, and this one you can't notice a difference because they're really good at it somehow, and he's like 70 plus or something, so that was really interesting. But well, they managed really well when they got used to it, but in the start it was a bit technical difficulties, but you can
something manageable. I mean, no big issues in a certain way. No, once you know the tool, it becomes easier and easier, no? But if there is the willingness to do this, it's even easier. And what about you, Alex?
Like, there was kind of differences between professors. There was one of them that did live lessons, and I think it was probably the best subject in a certain way that was taught, because it was, as Ole said, it was more or less the same as a normal class. If you have doubts, you can ask. And so everything was quite normal. But I have to say that in other subjects, like they posted videos that I think that's really good, because you can organize yourself when you want to watch them, and you can organize your day however you want. But it's true that I missed this factor of having contact with the professor, because I thought that it was really different from a normal class.
Oh, okay. Because in the previous days, some students said that the professors that were more keen to these new technologies were the ones that succeed most in managing this big issue. And one guy told that he never had such a close contact with some professor before this period, because some professors acted really good, and in this period they had a stronger relationship with him, something that was not accepted or seconded by the others, because others said, what do you say, that some live lectures are better because you can interact, share opinions, etc., but others are like, I read some slides, I give you some knowledge, something that you can do also alone, and I don't give you that value that a professor should give in our lectures or the interactions, etc., etc. And so I think that one thing that you said is like that this virus impacted also on our daily routine, no? Because we can't go out anymore. Another guy told that he was not used to be at home for more than 2 hours, because when he got home, he was always around the city with his friends, girlfriend, etc., etc. Now that he's constrained to be at home, it was like something strange for him. So the daily routine, how did you manage your new daily routine? in terms of study efficiency, etc., etc.?
Well, my lectures is usually at 12 o'clock or something, and in Norway we have like we usually wake up around 8 or something, and we have breakfast really early, so then you can go and do something like skiing, for example, like I'm doing, and then we got lectures for like 3 hours or something, and after that, yeah, you just eat dinner, hang out with some friends. So it's not really different from what I'm used to because I usually have it them by midday or anyway. So but like what I noticed is that I think it's easier to prepare yourself for online lectures because my professors they usually post it the lectures so you can go through it and then because I like to take notes from the slides and usually when I'm in class before this online lectures thing, then you just like have to write everything and then you have to also hear what he's saying because some professors they're just reading from the PowerPoint presentations, but some others they are like talking in between. So I've noticed now that I got much better notes than I had before epidemic. So for me, it's just like it's just getting better actually, ironically. But in Norway, we haven't had really strict like you have to be at home and stuff. You can because we're not that many people, so the social distancing part isn't that really huge different. Some for like Italy, it's like I don't know 60 minutes or something. In Norway, we got like 5, so we can just we're completely alone anyway. So
yeah, I can imagine that
actually
the lighter situation have helped you, no?
Well, it's like the only big difference I've seen is like when you go shopping, like in the malls and stuff, and then you have to be like in Norway we had 2 meters away from each other, but other than that it's just normal. But we are yeah, well, we are so few people, so for me I just went to but we have something called, I don't know how it is in Spain or Italy, but in Norway we got cabins usually. We got our home and we got our vacation cabin. And in the Easter part and late spring like now, it's really common to go to our cabins and be there for a week or something on vacation. But because they are usually another part of the country, and then the doctors and stuff in that part of the country don't have that capacity. I don't know what you call it, but like if you got 3 doctors and in the locals they're like maybe 1,000 people, but then there are like 3,000 cabins, so the population raises like to maybe 5-10,000. Then the doctors couldn't reach anyone, so we wasn't allowed to go to our cabins now in the Easter part, and I think it was like the last weekend, then they opened up so we can go to our cabins, but before that we got like a huge financial ticket to pay if we went to our cabin, because that was a new law they implemented. But other than that, it's been pretty much the same as usual.
So a really different situation from what we are living now, no? Both me and Alex, I think that the lockdown is far stricter than what you experienced there in Norway. So Alex, what about you? Your daily routine, your daily home tour? I don't know. Some told us that they did a balcony tour in order to get to the sun or do something different from day to day. What about you?
In my case, I try to wake up early at 8 if I can. And honestly, the only thing I have to do during the day is studying and following lessons, because we can't go out. Like since last Saturday, we can go out for an hour a day.
Mhm.
But I've been at home for 45 days and I haven't left for anything, not even for shopping. So I feel that I'm dedicating more time to study than ever because
Yeah.
I have nothing else to do. So,
But as efficiently as you were in Milan? Because some other guys said, I have a lot of time to study, but my efficiency, my productivity is low, low, low. I just pass hours in front of the PC, of the computers or notes, but I just read them, they read me, and it was like, okay, it's late, I have to go dinner, no?
yeah, it's exactly that. Because the problem is that since I don't have anything else to do, I spend the whole day
Mhm.
studying. And of course, my mind at some point blocks. And I keep trying to study, but efficiency has completely gone. And so
Yeah.
I think it's important to try to make the necessary breaks. But
Mhm.
when you do the breaks is when you realize that you can do anything. So
So it's not a full break. It's a different type of break too, no? You
yeah,
have breaks, it just means raising up, going to the kitchen, open the fridge, see there is something to eat, and then go back to study. No, it's the typical break that we can do now.
yeah.
And the rents and stuff in Milan, how are you handling with it?
In my case, I was living in a residence, and
Mm-hmm.
they canceled the last payment, so that was good. So it's not a
Yeah,
problem regarding to that.
so it's nice. And so we have, for example, Ole that has to remanage all the experience of exchange semester, no? I think that the majority of people that wants to go abroad in exchange or Erasmus is to have also the 6 months experience of living in another country, no? That also from for a culture perspective, Italy may be really different from the Norwegian culture. So it's also an experience of getting used to another culture, another kind of people, another kind of rhythm, etc., etc. No,
Yeah.
so I think that it's weird to be in Norway and having this exchange semester online because
Yeah.
it is something that probably will be implemented also for us. That myself too, because I presented my demand to go abroad in America next year, but I see my American dream disappearing because the situation is getting worse, so it's really difficult. Alex, have you done the demand for departing too next year?
Yes, I did, but honestly, I just applied to a couple of universities where there were few spots, like they were top
Mm-hmm.
universities. But just because since I'm already abroad, I really want to enjoy my experience in Italy. And Bocconi is a really good university, so I was thinking that if we want to go to an exchange, it has to be because I go to a really top university. Otherwise, for me, it's
Okay.
okay to stay. So it's not that a big
Yeah,
deal
because
if I don't go
you're
to.
already doing an exchange in a certain way, no? A 2 year exchange in Milan, so it's nice. Yeah. And from a future perspective, talking about more positive stuff, probably, where will you see in the next years, on the next future or long-term future? How do you think this situation has impacted on your lives or your desires, places in the world? I don't know, something like this. So I don't know who wants to start.
Well, I could talk for because in Norway we got
Mm-hmm.
you got this in our culture, as I said, cabins and stuff. They are really social status to have and stuff. So a lot of people got the huge margins and loans on cabins. So they're like have these monthly payments on this because you can get like a cabin to like 30 million Norwegian kroners, which is like 300,000 euros, and
Mm-hmm.
you use it for like a couple of weeks in the year. And so I think a lot of people here in Norway, they will like try to support the local travel society here in Norway because it's really expensive actually to travel here in Norway on vacation. So we usually go to like the Canary Islands, Italy, Greek and places like that, because we don't get a really good summer anyways because it's so cold here, and then we like to go to the beach and stuff. But now I think we can't go out this summer because we have to be back home because the flights won't go down to our typical vacation spots. So all the school stuff, because they were trying to get us Norwegians to go outside and get some international education, but now they want us to just be back home and then maybe try and tell it in English or something, because usually it's just Norwegian language, and when you get out in the work life, you usually get international colleagues and stuff, and then they can't communicate. That's why they want us out, especially on Erasmus and programs like that. But for me, it was like more for a travel to Italy. My aunt, she has a house in Asti, and so I've been to that part several times when I was younger, and we usually go to like Naples and Rome as Norwegians when we go travel, not up to the northern part, because or maybe on ski trips to the Alps, but otherwise we want to go to the beach and stuff that far down south. But now I think it will be more like go just try support the local community here and there, up in northern Norway, for example, and places where they live off the tourism, because a lot of hotels and stuff has closed down, so because they can't pay their bills and stuff because of this corona stuff. I got a large emergency package of financial goods to the tourism sector, but there are so many hotels here. Like in my place in Gol, we're like 4,000 people here, and we got 5 hotels because in the time like 30,000 people come here, and also people from like Japan and America and other places of town, because they want to see Norway and the mountain ranges. And I live like in the middle of a mountain range, so we live of tourism. So I've seen like all the stores in our main street has closed down, and I don't think they will open again because they can't pay their bills because they have lost a lot of financial support from tourists. And I get the impression that's really around all of the country, because I read it all on the news that this firm and this firm has gone bankrupt because of the corona epidemic. So I don't know.
Yeah, so the short-term focus will be in Norway for sure.
Yeah.
So supporting local, but I think that the majority of people will be in its own country, because both because there will be some bans from the government. Some air travel companies or tour operators and travel agents may suffer from this because of no income or revenues. No, Alex. So what about you in the short term and long term?
Well, in the short term, I didn't expect to be able to move from here the whole summer. Like maybe around Spain, but I'm almost sure that I won't be able to go out. And honestly, I just hope that by September I can go to Milan and that everything is normal in kind of way. And I'm just expecting to get back to reality and be able to do the master in Italy instead of doing it at my hometown. That would be really good.
Yeah. Yeah, so that you can have this exchange experience, no? Otherwise, being at home in front of a computer, it's something that is missing. No, we feel something is missing. So,
in fact, I think I haven't been so long at home since I left home to go to university, and so it's always really weird that the moment that I take the decision to go abroad, I have to be more at home than any time before.
Yeah, the first thing that I said when I came back here, I said, okay, I will be here 1 week, 2 week, 3 week max, and then I stayed here for I don't know more than 2 months, and it is more than one. When I started university as you, I didn't spend so much time here, apart from Christmas holidays, probably the longer period that I had. But and about internship and the future, which are your plans?
On my case, the internship, I'm kind of scared that this economic crisis that will bring the coronavirus will make it difficult to find a good internship. I just hope that we can do it next year with no problems. And if it's possible, I'm not 100% sure what I want to do in the future. I just know that I want to do something related to sustainability. And what I'm doing is I'm waiting for next year because I want to take the major in sustainability. And I think it will be a good opportunity to see what I like and what fits the most with me and what motivates me the most regarding this broad field.
Okay, so a nice perspective, no? But how was the change from an engineering bachelor to a Master of Science in Management? Did it impacted you in particular ways, or it's like, okay, it's another kind of approach, but I can handle it? Or do you say, no, it's a completely different world, I don't know if I'm fitted to it, or because it's something new for you, no?
Yeah, completely. Like, on the one hand, when I started university, the master, and I saw that almost everyone had studied management or marketing or finance, I was a bit scared because I thought, okay, they already have some basic knowledge or more than basic, and I have zero idea of anything. So in this part, I was quite scared, but at the end, like I could catch up. I know that probably it took me more time than other people to study some subjects, but I'm okay with that. And I don't know, for the future, I think that I will try to find something that helps me to take advantage also of my engineering background. And I'm looking forward to find something that it's a mix of the two things, but we'll see what we find.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't see anymore all, but I think he can hear us because I see that he's still online. We are reaching the time by which we set it before the target, no? So I would conclude here. Thank you again for the availability and the opinions that you wanted to share with us. Particularly because we are reaching the sections of exams. And so I think that even if we are in quarantine, well, me and you, because Ole is a lighter quarantine, even if it is still a quarantine, I think we are going through a tough period for the exam. And thank you very much for having taken the time to take this interview. Okay, so we'll see after the exams to see how it went. And Ole, we hope to have you back in Italy in better times to have a better experience in Rimini and all the Emilia-Romagna and all our beautiful country. Okay, so thank you very much again and see you soon. Okay, bye. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Bye.